I'm walking down the Walmart aisle.
Yeah.
And you know how they have those like big in the center like tables with the tablecloths that says clear, big yellow clearance sign, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna find right in front of
just random shit on it. Yeah.
And they had like this. It's super cool. It's a stand that holds my phone, and then it holds it right underneath a ring light, and then it just plugs right into a USB, and it has this little like remote thing, and I can control the brightness and everything. And before, what I was doing in order to have the light right in this room, because I have the lights off and I'm just using like the Halloween lights, I would have to use this 55-inch behind me and put it on like YouTube for a white screen for 24 hours and just let it play. You know what I mean?
Do what you got to do, man. I mean,
it works, but I like this way better. This is a super cool setup, so I'm hyped about it, and I'm glad I got to try it. So.
Yeah, apparently people are watching our shit, so I guess you got to get a little bit more legit.
I got to start improving my shit, right? All my equipment.
You know what's funny?
What's up, Aaron Schermeyer? What's going on, brother?
What's up, buddy? Give him the twin snakes. The funny thing is, when we did our practice the other day, and Eric is like, "Oh, I see on your video, that Wayne is number one or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh, you've been watching my videos, huh?" I'm like, I didn't even know you know how to use a computer.
and weren't we just talking about this? How I was like, they don't watch my stuff. They're just, they don't
Dude,
care.
everybody watches it. Like, the more shit they talk, the more they're the main ones watching it. You gotta love it.
It's gonna do this. It's gonna do this eventually. It's gonna do this.
Absolutely.
So realistically, all this is about is I wanted to get together with my big buddy Ed and kind of do what he's been doing for other people, which no one expects him to do on his own channel. But to kind of give you guys a little bit of a history, a little bit of background. If you didn't know, this man is making fucking waves.
The Pop-Tart man himself.
The Pop-Tarts are moving forward. Ooh. What's up, Jake, in the chat? What's going on, brother?
S'mores. And you guys, there's only 2 Pop-Tarts in here. This is a family size. So when I say I've been eating Pop-Tarts, I'm not lying.
He's been going hard. Yeah, and
Aaron, thank you.
Yeah, and there's just there's a lot of moving pieces into arm wrestling, and especially when you get to see a lot of competing, a lot of footage, a lot of practice, and no one can deny the fact that I would say Ed is the one that's trajectory has been moving the fastest. So it's always nice. I did it with Sid and Scott. Not going to be the same. It's going to be a little bit different, but just kind of give you guys the insides, the outsides about what my man does here. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can do this correctly without screwing it up.
I did watch that one. They were good. I like that they were both together, like giving each other like mutual comfort.
Yeah. It was supposed to be just a Sid live, and then he was
They're
like,
inseparable.
Scott's going to join, and I was like, dude, please, I love it.
Scott's like, Sid, if you're feeling uncomfortable, just give me a little nudge.
Exactly. I'll take over.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I had an opportunity to do back day with Sid last night. It was awesome.
How was that?
We did about 15 minutes of back, and then we did about an hour and a half of wrist. After I just told him I dislocated my wrist, I was like, thanks, bro.
Dude, Sid is a beast. Oh, yeah, Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, just like Artem, right?
Did you see my story?
Yeah, the cans.
He's got me hooked, bro. He's got me hooked. But it was a great time working out with Sid. The thing that I took away the most from it last night was kind of getting to see how he trains differently than I do.
Because everybody trains differently.
Well, that and from someone his stature, you really want to see what it is that challenges a guy like that, although we all know he has like bench press records, back is still, it's crazy to watch.
What did you guys do? Talk about that. What did you guys do for back?
Yeah, so we went to his gym, Fitness 1440, and he
had the one in Mesa.
Yeah, right across the street from my house. Bodybuilding gym, real nice equipment, beautiful facility. They had, the lat pull down handles that have kind of like the grip that like you can grab with your fingers, and they have the different size ones. Some of them are super wide, some are go here. Well, he had one that was real tight, almost like kind of emulating an arm wrestling style stance or whatever. So we were doing lat pull downs with that. I think we did maybe 4 working sets, 2 warm-up sets. and then we did the straight across cable row, where it's kind of like the same thing as on the same set as the lat pull down, but across the way, straight across. And we did some full range of motions, but mainly what we would do is we would just get a real heavy weight. I think I was doing like 180, and he was doing the whole fucking stack,
Of
and
course.
just like real short reps close to here, tightening the lat.
Small pumps.
Yeah, small pumps. I mean, he was pumping out like 20 reps with the whole stack. It was crazy. But it was cool because it did work. Your wrist. It did work kind of the same muscles you would use in arm wrestling. And then pretty much that was it. We were gonna do one other back workout, but realistically, we were just talking so much and kind of first time we had worked out, so we were just kind of playing it out. We just kind of jumped right into wrist. We did some straight pull down with the fat grip from the cable. Then we moved over to the kettlebells with the karate belt. Did pronation through the hand, pronation over the thumb. He did. I don't know if you saw his story, but he did the rising with the kettlebell over
We're
the
on Instagram.
on his Instagram on his story. I think it was like 60, just under about 62 pounds, just over the knuckles, karate belt, just over the
That's it?
knuckles, Rice. It was impressive. It was for sure impressive. I don't know what my PR for that is, and I'm pretty positive.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he could go higher. He had never done that before. He says it in the video,
He's
but
he's
his
like
wrist thumb
he's
buckle.
built like a house.
He is. He is. He's
Wow.
huge.
Okay. Let's see.
So we were just kind of talking about as we were doing all that, the kind of different, where you put the strap on your hand, correlating what kind of it for. He was putting it just straight through the wrap through his hands and then pronating like that. And I was telling him to make a loop and put it through his thumbs, and he could do so much more weight that way. And I was telling him it was pretty much the difference between people who like you were showing me a little bit how people pronate through your wrist or you pronate through your thumb. And the pronating through your thumb really helps in the straps, especially when you have that that karate belt around the thumb. It's kind of the same kind of emulation. So it was fun. It was more or less just kind of feeling it out together. But I definitely foresee me and him working out more together. So that's going to be fun.
That's cool. Yeah, he's a much to maybe other people's viewpoints, but he's a really cool guy. Very friendly.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's just like all of us. I know we're all just you know we're all just fans. We're all just trying to get better.
And he just wants to get stronger. And for someone like that just wants to get stronger, I want to be around that guy. You know what I mean? Let's see. We got the interview Larry did just recently with Devin was packed with such good info. I got to listen to it again. Lots of info. Yeah, it was.
That
Another
was a
good
great one.
I need to share it is go watch on, I think it's Strongcast. Mark Boyd. He did an interview with Devin Larrett, and they break it into like parts. That's a really good one too.
Was that the recent one?
Yeah, he just did it once he got into Dubai. That's a really good one. There's one clip in specific that I have to share because it reminds me specifically of things that are going on here in Arizona. But
Nice.
Okay, let's jump right into it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go over some just some questions, and then what we're gonna do is in the middle of it we're gonna do a speed round, and for a minute and a half we're gonna try to get through as many questions, simple, stupid. Some have to do with arm wrestling, some don't. But in a minute and a half, we're just going to fire through them, and it'll be fun. Okay.
Sounds gay. Let's do it.
Yeah. Right. But first and foremost, why don't you tell everybody your real name, not the legendary Balkan? Why don't you tell people your age, your old man age, all that kind of stuff?
Sure. I'm 31 years old. My real name is Edo Muslic. At work, I usually go by Ed, just because everyone's retarded. Doesn't know how to say it.
It is Edo?
It's Edo, yeah.
Okay.
You can call me whatever.
But I didn't know if that was shortened for something else. Edo.
No, it's just Edo.
Okay.
That's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how many years have you been watching the sport versus competing?
I would say, so this kind of fits in my personality, how I am. I'm not really too big of a fan of things. I am more of a doer. Like even when I was playing high school football, I don't really I never watched football. I would just play on the team.
That makes sense.
When I started watching arm wrestling from Larry Wheels,
yeah,
I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do it. and then that's how I got involved. And I'm like, okay, but I mean, just like you and I and everybody, we all watch wrestling every single day now.
Yeah,
That's all on my YouTube is freaking arm wrestling videos. And
pretty
now I'm
much all
like,
it is now.
what did I used to watch before this? Because I was like, that's all I do now.
Was that your introduction? Was Larry?
I would say without Armbet, it would have been pretty difficult too. Um, like when I went to Armbet and I saw like, oh shit, there's other people around me. Like there was you. Shit. I remember the first messages I sent out was to Ron King, because I was like, I can beat this guy, and I think I sent him like a challenge or something like that.
Right
Yeah,
off the rip, just
I'm
right
gonna
off the
load up.
bat.
I'm loading up my Armbet right now. It's hilarious. So like,
Shout out to everybody that still uses Armbet.
I know, right? Um, there's just, I mean, I have
So
messages
did Armbet
from
get you?
you.
Did Armbet get you to Arizona Arm Fighters YouTube?
How it worked was I went from Armbet to looking up Gorilla Arms in Tucson on Facebook.
Shout out to Aaron in the chat, Gorilla Arms.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are awesome. I mean, everybody down in Tucson, you guys are all awesome. Um, I know we have a lot more guys over here, but I mean, you guys are so helpful.
Absolutely.
And then I went to this is kind of when COVID started, I suppose. Let's see. Whoever was running the Gorilla Arms told me to contact Dustin, and then from there I got into the Arizona Arm Fighters, and I still didn't go to a practice. I watched the Arizona Arm Fighters YouTube, and Maddie, my fiance, she was like, you're not going to those practices because there's like 20 people in there, and she didn't want
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the time when COVID kind of came out, and
Yeah,
we're all like, everyone's gonna fucking die, sort of
right.
thing.
Don't
And
risk that.
yeah, exactly. And her parents are not in good health, and just stuff like that. And I didn't want to cause too much of an argument, So I was like, okay, for now, no. And then once we got the COVID started kind of dying down a little bit, like people are not falling dead.
Shouldn't be an issue.
No.
That makes sense. Yeah, it was. I mean, those Arizona Arm Fighter practices looked huge, mainly because they were in a living room, and everyone was
Exactly.
packed next to each other.
Oh, dude, that fucking dog, dude. Oh my god. So everybody loves the big dogs, like those muscular dogs. What are they?
Cash?
Pit bulls? Is that what he's called?
Yeah,
Dude.
Dustin's dog, Cash.
I went to so the only Arizona Arm Fighter practice I went to, the dog started fucking my leg.
I was gonna say, sweetest dog, the sweetest pit bull you ever meet in your entire life. Almost too sweet.
Yeah, and he's huge. He started humping my leg, and I'm like, how do I get him off him? How do I get him off me? Because he's like 100 pounds of like solid muscle. And someone's like, you just gotta let him finish. And I'm like, dude, I don't know about these practices because like
it's initiation. It's how you get on the table.
Yeah, he's got to just put his juices on you first.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, I love Cash. I've got videos of Cash. He's a great dog. He's kind of
I'm more of a fluffy dog person.
Yeah. Even my dogs are not the fluffy type. I mean, Bait is a little bit, but it's more fluffy, like because he's fat rather than. And then you are, correct me if I'm wrong, Bosnian, correct? That's the reason why you're so good at arm wrestling.
Yes. I don't know what about Europeans, but I think also, yeah, I'm from Bosnia originally, moved here when I was 6.
Okay.
A European mindset, I think, is a little differently. I think we're less ego driven. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I can't really say a blanket statement because there's a lot of Europeans that suck balls. So I don't know.
I would definitely say that there's something that's different.
There's definitely some difference.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's how it's brought up from a young early age, or whether it's kind of like the Levon and the pussy thing, where it's kind of like the respect in which you view something. I really don't know what it is, but I'll tell you this. My first probably 3 years in the sport, I don't know if you're ever familiar, but there was a YouTube channel back in the day called Pullerville.
No.
Okay. Pullerville was it. It was the arm wrestling channel back in the day. It had the best content. It had the best quality. It was mainly California, and it would travel to some of the other ones, kind of like a 217 and stuff like that. But mainly, it was the guys that were bigger in California. But shout out to Pullerville. Pullerville was definitely what got me started watching arm wrestling in the first place. I still have videos on my like arm wrestling favorites playlist of Pullerville videos, right?
Okay.
And shit, I forgot what the original topic about
what's the channel called? Puller, Ville?
Yeah, Puller, Puller, Ville, all one word.
Pullerville. Oh, here you go. 3.9K subscribers. Just so I
And-
know what you're talking about.
And where was I going with this at the very beginning? I forget.
Who knows?
Fuck. The interview Larry just did recently with Devin was packed with such good info. Oh wait, no, that's on.
Miss Pullerville.
Right, Aaron. Pullerville was the shit back in the day.
Yeah, these are some good videos. I remember watching some of these.
Yeah, man. But shit, man. I wish we
Shit,
could go
you
back.
don't mean to tell me you didn't write down the topics.
No. I just got
How
off on a
unprepared
tangent.
are you for this exclusive interview?
I had it written down, but I got off on a tangent. Anyway, shout out to Pullerville. Pullerville was awesome. I learned a lot from that.
We're talking about the dog.
Getting started and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. But either way, so we were talking a little bit about how long you had been watching versus competing, and
the European thing.
The difference between so my first 3 years, I pretty much solely watched Pullerville and United States arm wrestling. It's pretty much all I watched. I was very familiar with all the United States arm wrestlers. But if you told me a European name, dude, forget about it. I didn't know who they were. I couldn't tell you who they were in a grocery store. I couldn't tell you in a list of people whose name is what. It was all confusing to me. I don't know when I started watching European arm wrestling, but when I did, man, I can tell you that even the viewpoint changes the way you look at training, how you look at the level and the standard of everything, because you can just tell that those guys are on a different trajectory, playing field, everything when it comes to training and how they take it versus and the best way I can explain it is when I got introduced to the sport, man, it was, we're going to practice once a week and we're going to tear each other's arms off, and that's how we're going to get better at arm wrestling. And then you look at kind of the newer wave, which I think is more of a European style, which is I'm going to train specifically for this in weightlifting styles. And then when I do pull, it's not going to be like, I will go hard when I need to, but it's more or less figuring things out and stuff like that. And I really think it's changed the sport. I really think more people have access to viewing European arm wrestling and viewing European style training for arm wrestling. And it is completely up to the level, like we've talked about before, the evolving of how arm wrestling has changed. I think that has a huge thing to do with it.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Pullerville.
Who's that Russian who's that Russian puller he's on the short side. He's like a hook puller.
Sasha Andreev?
No. He used to be pretty active. He's pretty big.
He's a bigger guy?
He's shorter, but they're all pretty muscular. I want to tell you a story. I'll remember it. But anyway, so I trained with a guy named Wasim, I think pretty recently, maybe 8 months ago or something like that. So he's from California. So he was telling me about how his coach, Vazgen, who's a 4 times world champion, and these guys they're all European foreigners, whatever. And they trained at Scott Medelson's gym. Yeah. And it was and you know what? It's funny. Like back in the day when I was involved in powerlifting, I watched Scott Medelson get into arm wrestling.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why he stopped.
He was kind of really the first one as far as like the strength world that dabbled before Larry, before Juji Mufu. Scott Mendelson had a win over Travis Bajent. God bless.
Thank you.
When Travis Bajan was pretty nice
He
too.
was
I mean,
kind
he
of
was
like
on
the
his way
Brandon
down, but
Allen before Brandon Allen was.
right, right. So a lot of these
Anyway,
guys have dabbled, where they've come in. You know who I think would have changed the game is who Mark Felix is.
oh fuck yeah, that guy's huge.
That dude's hand is it's an anomaly. It's unreal. In the chat, Odin Sun says, "Was it Dimitri Trubin?" I don't think so because Dimitri
Okay,
Trubin.
so Dmitry Trubin is part of this story. The
Oh,
guy
okay,
I'm thinking about is Rustam Babayev.
that's who I was gonna say. I just didn't
Yeah,
know how big we were talking because he's short, but he's not. He's not huge.
yeah. Anyway, so Wasim was telling me a story about how he used to be a member of Scott Mendel's gym. So he was wanted to be involved in arm wrestling. So when he would come into the gym, there was Vosgin, there was Scott Mendelson, there was Vrej. You know Vrej, right?
Yep.
The fucking monster. And there was some other Europeans there. And so, he paid his dues or whatever. And then nobody would tell him any advice at all. Nobody would talk to him. They would say, hello and stuff, but nobody would give him any advice. So, and I thought that was kind of weird. He's just telling me the story. And so then Wasim started competing, more and more. And then the more he competed, the more he actually paid his dues or whatever, the more the other guys started talking to him. And then they would, chime in and stuff like that. And then Voskin would have Dmitry Trubin. He would have like Rustam Babayev come from overseas, and then people would pay them $150 per hour or $1,000 for their programs and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know where I'm going with this story, but kind of lost my train of thought. But
See, it happens. It doesn't matter if you're
I don't
prepared or
know.
not.
I
Get off
think I
on
just
tangents.
wanted to say all that, but
You just wanted to talk about European arm wrestling and how it's
yes, I
affected.
don't know what the hell the point of this was, but I
Shout out
think.
to Scott Mendelson.
Here we go. Here we go. So I think the point of the story was that the Europeans. So like when you go to an American, I mean, this is everybody, but when you go to an American practice, everybody is giving you advice. Everybody won't shut the hell up, and everyone's giving everybody advice. Amateurs are giving amateurs advice. New pullers are giving new pullers advice, and then they're reinforcing the wrong information over and over. I can't tell you of the time, how many times Aaron has tried to correct me. I mean, shit. I'm like telling Aaron, I'm like, I can't even correct anybody else because like I barely know how to arm wrestle myself. That's
Absolutely.
just how I think about it.
Yeah.
I'm over here trying to Google what is a top roll and how to what the hell what is the thumb top roll like, and you're telling me how to do it. It's like, dude, fuck off, right? I I like to pick on Aaron though. Anyway, the Europeans like they won't give you advice.
They
They
let you figure
won't.
it out.
You have to basically you have to stick around and you got to pay your dues, and sometimes you got to pay them a little bit, and then they'll give you advice.
For real. Well, and not only that, but it just once again shows the level in which respect and severity in which they treat the sport versus us.
Absolutely.
Like I was saying before.
It's kind of hard to, speaking of advice, I mean, take a look at Eric Wolf. Eric Wolf is kind of hard to get advice from.
Right.
So he's kind of similar in that way. Like you ask Eric Wolf for stuff and he's like, I don't know. And, it's kind of like he's very secretive. And that's kind of how they are.
Absolutely. And I always think that, everyone has something to offer, but I think also a lot of it, like we were talking about before, has to do with ego,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
I think it's good when some, like people like Aaron or you or me or whatever, we're all kind of new. When we kind of talk about the technical side of things, like, hey, like try this or try that, like that's a good way to think about it. But we can't talk in
absolutely.
like absolutes.
Oh no, don't do that. That
Yeah,
doesn't
don't do that.
work. You're wrong. You know what I mean? Those kind of things. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, like remember, knuckles high.
Yeah. You're doing that wrong.
Hey, this is wrong.
Yeah.
Say, hey, what if I win like that? Like, oh no,
that's why
wrong.
I always try to ask questions. I always try to find out what the other person is trying to accomplish and what they're doing. And I got to be honest with you, bro. You're killing me right now. Okay, you need to give me a solid like 30 seconds to go get a Mountain Dew right now. Because if you take another drink, I'm
I'm
gonna.
halfway done. I have another one in the fridge. Never deal in absolutes. Yeah, only Siths deal in absolutes. We're Jedi's up in this bitch. I don't even know how many people are in the chat right now, but you guys must be not working right now. Shouldn't you be working? Six people. When we got 6 people watching. What up? Ooh, what flavor is that?
Shout out to Top Roll King for putting your boy on to the Baja Gold pineapple.
That sounds pretty good.
It's fucking fire. My girlfriend doesn't even like pineapple, and she's like, "Oh, that's good." And then I also got the Voltage, which is like a raspberry citrus. Money. 7 people in the chat. Shout out to everybody messing with us.
Robert
What's up,
Radke,
Robert, in
what's
the
up,
chat?
buddy?
Never deal in absolutes. I love it, Jake. You know what's up. Okay, so how long has it that you've been interested in strength in general?
Next interview, Ovi Dragomir. Oh,
I'm
dude.
so down.
Oh, dude, that would be the tits. I would pay him.
That's
to
you,
interview.
bro. That's all you.
I've talked to Ovi so many times. I mean, he's got so many stories. Shout out from Rocky Point, Odin's son.
That would be young Josiah, I believe, or
Odin's son is my brother.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Spoiler
nice.
alert. Not to reveal his identity.
Josiah is Exodus Legion. That's who he is.
Yeah, everyone's got funny names. Shoot, what was the question? How long have I been interested in our strength stuff?
Strength in general. What age? When did it come along? How did it come along?
So when I was in, I think 4th or 5th grade, it's a long ass time ago because I'm 31 now. There was a YMCA next to my elementary school, and my brother and my dad started fucking around in the gym and stuff, and I didn't like it at all. And then suddenly I started liking it more than them, and then they kind of gave up. And then when I was 4th grade, I benched 135, and I was like, oh, maybe this is good. I don't see people benching 135. So I was like, maybe I'm good in this. And then
Is this here in the States?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is in Phoenix. And then I just kept getting better and better. When I was 17, I was deadlifting like 500 something, 525 or something.
Wow.
Bench 350 at 17. Squatted 500 at 17, and then I used to compete in some powerlifting. Did some power a high school football sort of event where it was bench press and power clean, and then power clean 350, something like that.
Okay.
So I was pretty good. I was pretty good in that.
And when you talk about all that from that age, just from someone I grew up playing sports in high school. I didn't play football. I played basketball. I played a little bit of baseball. But the weight training was always around for usually the football guys. But it was very, very rare to see someone dead interested in a weightlifting sport like powerlifting or something like that. So tell me, what was the influence specifically for powerlifting? Was it lifting weights in football and learning that you were strong that kind of got you to go that route?
I didn't really like playing football. When I was in freshman year of football, I was a running back, and then I got too big, but I was still decently quick. And then they put me as defensive lineman, and I didn't like that much. I switched from a high school called Central High School to South Phoenix, Cesar Chavez High School, and everybody was quick. Yeah, everybody was quick.
That place is huge. Cesar Chavez, I remember going to travel there for tournaments, and I was like, I'd get lost at the place. It was so big.
That was a huge school. Yeah, people that's kind of the ghetto area. People would bring guns to school and stuff, and before there was shootings and stuff, and I'm like, I thought, people are telling me they're gangsters and stuff like that. Now, I'm just a white guy, and I thought they were joking around. I always thought people were just joking, oh yeah, you're a gangster.
Not at Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, but they're in gangs and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. I didn't get the whole point of it.
No, it's definitely a different culture. I remember going and playing those guys and a majority of my team was my size, like my height. I'm 6'1", 6'2",
Mm-hmm.
and I think their point guard was my size. So like their tallest player was like 6'10", 6'11".
Yeah.
It was just a joke. It was a joke to them for sure. But yeah, man. But that's cool. I mean, once you learn that you're strong from a young age, it definitely kind of motivates you to carry on with it. But awesome.
Yeah. So then I competed. I competed in powerlifting. Did a couple of powerlifting events. Um, Squat. It wasn't. Well, was it squat? It was deadlift and bench press, and then the whole sort of like paying the fee, paying the drug test because it was like drug tested, and then losing weight to make weight, and then the event is like run very poorly, and it would take like a whole day to be out in Gilbert or Chandler or whatever, and it was just like this is stupid, and like you don't win anything.
Right.
So I was like, I'm just gonna do this by myself. So I stopped competing in powerlifting.
And then you were also telling me that it's like, especially deadlift, quite often to hurt yourself, and it's just what
Oh,
Lewis Horvath. What's happening with the rankings? I don't know, man.
let's talk about
Edwin,
the
you know?
rankings. So we don't have access to the rankings. It's all Greg Brown. So message Greg Brown and he'll let you know.
Yes. Devin right arm look big in his interview with Larry. Keep hammering everyone. Shout out to Clayton. Look strong this weekend.
Yeah,
Lewis,
hopefully
to be honest with you, I did my best. I tried what I could do to try to get a good baseline going, the ball rolling for everything. But realistically, I think certain people care, certain people don't. And what it comes down to is competition. We all just want to see everyone compete, have matches, see where we're all at, and we can all talk about it, or we could all arm wrestle each other. And we're going to get into that a little bit later, Ed, as far as what you have on your plate and your future.
sure.
But uh, let's see here. Actually,
What's up, Lewis? By the way,
let's jump. Yeah, we could actually just jump right into that. So, um, what do you feel like has really changed for you in the last 6 months, as far as your confidence and definitely your level of competition? Because clearly you've gone from matches with people like, and now obviously we're talking about corresponding arms, different arms, but people like Jesse and Alex, to now we're talking about matches with people like Eric and Tim. You know what I mean?
that's that stuff is pretty funny to me. And this is not like right-handed. I don't have a chance against those guys right-handed. Um, but some,
But I think
for
what you do have a chance for right-handed is if you are currently going to be ranked in the. I was just looking at this. If you're going to be ranked in the 206, 232s, there's a very good chance that you could be top three.
top three. What? Let me check that. I challenged John Brzenk to a match. He doesn't respond, so technically I'm number one.
That is absolute.
That's the rules.
But based on those rankings we have, I was looking at that
All right, here we go.
this morning. But
Let's see, Tito, Scott West, and Wayne. Okay, well, I just beat Al. Well, no, I beat Alex left. And Alex is injured right. So I think I agree with you. I think I have a pretty good shot.
so that's kind of what I mean as far as the last 6 months. What do you feel like has changed for you? Do you feel like it's a mindset thing? Do you feel like it's a training thing? Do you feel like it's a something starting to click thing? What do you think it is?
Um, I think over time, over the year and a half I've been involved in this thing, everyone is interpreting how to do it, you know, based on their experiences or whatever. And all I kind of came to the conclusion is if I'm going to get better, I have to basically just look out for myself. You got to look out for number one, essentially. So, when I started, I was like, well, who's the best group? Who are the best group? Like, who's the number one in Arizona? I know John Brzenk is, but okay, it's Wayne, right? And there's this guy named Miguel. He's really good. And then Eric does his own thing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to join West Side Arms, right? That's kind of a no brainer, right?
Right.
So then I got help from them, more so from Miguel. Kind of Wayne does his own thing usually. And then Miguel kind of gave me all the information. Started training with, Miguel. And then over time, like just people started kind of wanting to train with me. And then I kind of pick and choose kind of um, who I want to train with and kind of, I do, because I do a lot of table time.
Absolutely. But do you feel like that year and a half is what has kind of pushed you so fast, or do you feel like it has to do with the foundational strength that you've gained over the years? Do you feel like it's a technique thing that maybe has started to click?
Okay,
Anything in specific?
I'll tell you, my the uh, I'll speak a little bit in absolutes. Um, when I my first practice was at Alex's house in his garage. I'll tell you, I don't know how many months that I consistently went to those practices, but I feel like I just wasted my time that whole
say
time.
say what you just said again. Your first practice was where,
So my first practice was at Alex's house.
and
I
who was
could,
your match with against this past weekend?
it's the same man, the myth, the legend, the Alex. And so I couldn't move his arm for like 6 months. So, but during that whole 6 month, I just feel like I didn't progress any at all. It was just kind of slow pulling. Everybody didn't really. There's not good guidance, And Alex might have double the experience I have, but there's not.
You
He's
can
no
get
Eric
really
Wolf. He's
good at
no.
training for something that doesn't translate, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Like he was even after our match, he was. We were talking back and forth, and he was like dumbfounded. He's like, "How could I lose?" He was very perplexed as to how he can lose, because he's so strong, and and I'm just like, it's very easy to understand why you lost. I mean, it's not a strength sport. I train for tournaments and I train for matches. I don't train to slow pull, and I never go hard in practice anyway.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say you don't go hard, but you don't go 110 the whole fucking time,
Yeah.
like most people do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like I'm better than people or anything like that. I think I just have a good background since lifting all that, deadlifting and pulling exercise. I was much better with that, and so it kind of got applied at some point.
So a little bit of everything then. It kind of all ties in, it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't bench press. That's one thing I don't do. I haven't bench pressed since 2016, maybe.
Fuck bench pressing.
Yeah, this my left pec is still partially torn from 2016.
Ew.
So, yeah, I know.
Okay. So as far as your definitely come into some confidence. So
Yeah, I think
a
so.
little bit about that.
A little bit about the confidence. I
Well,
think that
how your mindset has changed, I guess.
it's cool. Like I think I can relate it to when I deadlift, right? So when you kind of when you bench press or deadlift, right? A 2 plate bench press, like 225, like that's like way beyond there. Like I'm afraid of 225. So you put 225, then you do 25. Then 315 is like, oh my god, like 315, like it's like a barrier,
Every time.
every time. And so for me, like deadlifting 5 plates was a barrier. Then I did that, and then it's 6 plates, and then I did 6 plates, for I don't know how many reps, and now it's 7 plates. So that's the same thing with arm wrestling. It's like, okay, Alex was this huge thing, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I'm onto something here. So then, let's try Eric Wolf and whatever.
I love it. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Hey! It's your fucking mom. Shut up.
Yeah, there's not really too much rhyme or reason behind my thinking, really. I'm just like, I'm more
Just
of
doing, like you said,
I'm
more of a doer.
just a doer. Like, when people are like, oh, I don't want to match with this guy. I'm just like, okay, let's just do it. Like I wanted to actually challenge Eric Wolf at some point left-handed, but now I get 2-1 odds. My 500 against his 1,000. So I was going to probably challenge him anyway at some point. And now I have 3 months to prepare. So
Just worked out
Um,
that way, huh?
it just worked out. So,
You know
um,
who is the this is the way I looked at it before Eric ever got involved, is I looked at it as Tim, Eric, Sid, Dustin.
as far as overall,
No, as far as left-handed.
left hand, interesting.
You get through those names, I don't know who else in Arizona has anything for you left-handed.
Okay, I would like to see Sid in more action. To me, he's still an enigma. I really don't understand how he pulls yet. In a combat situation, I can
Yeah.
I under I can feel him in practice pulls. I know how he pulls slow pulling, and let's
The
get him
question
some
is, how is Ed going to beat a King's move? That's the true question.
easily, very easily. He's never gonna get into that King's move. The only
But
reason I think the only reason he was able to get into that Kings was with Miguel is because Miguel was injured. He was lacking power, and Miguel would have gotten him here and not here if he wasn't injured. So
you mean that you think that Miguel would have kept his cup the whole time?
Miguel would have done a lot better. I'll tell you that.
I think that the match would be different, but I don't think that it would change the I don't know. I think it would be different, but I don't think it would be that much different. I think that uh, Miguel lost a lot of power when it comes to his weight training and his weight and
Yeah,
his cut. And the fact that that man was able to pull with someone like Sid the way that Miguel did is the most impressive thing to me at all. When you watch that match, it's pretty much pure elbow. I'm not even
hmm
talking about the fucking fact that he was injured. I mean, the dude was completely taunting him in a break arm position the whole time against a
he's
300
really good
pound
at that.
power lifter. It's just not real. It's not an anomaly.
Well,
And
the more time that goes on, and those guys ever get a rematch, Sid is going to be that much better just because he's
exactly,
so much newer.
I think the time that separates the rematch favors Sid, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think so
Um,
too.
so very interesting. But I just say for you, you get those names under your belt left-handed. I think you're the best left-handed in Arizona,
You
which
know,
might be more of a coveted prestige than worrying about how long it's going to take before you can beat a Wayne, an Eric, a fucking Dustin, you know what I mean, right-handed. Because like you said, if you know how far you are behind those guys that in that hand, then like you said, it might just make more sense.
yeah. When I was a kid, in high school, I used to watch a lot of ESPN, and I used to watch Travis Bacon. He was on ESPN all the time, and you know what? A lot of people nowadays are like, "Oh, fuck left-handed," but it's like Travis Bacon was so popular. I didn't even think about, oh, he's the left-handed guy. I just thought that he was a great arm wrestler. So
He
who
was
cares if
my
it's left or right?
he was my first favorite arm wrestler. Um, and when I found out that he was left-handed, I was like, "Oh, that's even cooler." Until I became an arm wrestler, and then when I became an arm wrestler and realized how many people arm wrestle left-handed versus right-handed and how it's treated, I don't know. I had a different change of heart about it, and I do look at it as impressive to be really good left-handed. But I think the difference between looking at someone who's really good right-handed and left-handed is the difference of the excuse that everyone will make, and that's there's way more people that pull right-handed and that focus on the right hand than they do left-handed. And I would say even so much so more now because of like Devin's whole pumpkin theory,
Hmm.
if you will, that's kind of come out. I don't personally believe in it. I don't know whether it's a good or a bad thing, whether it's whatever, but I've always trained both arms. I've always trained both hands. If I'm doing a workout, I'm going to switch alternate hands. If I'm at practice, I'm going to arm wrestling right and left handed. And
Hmm.
still with that mindset, my right is far far farther than my left is, you know what I mean? So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the coordination and the strength up in the years. My 30 years have just been lacking in my left, so that's how it will always be until I do my best to try to catch it up. But like we've had this talk before, there's many people who come in and they're just either balanced right off the go, or their left hand is just, it's not even that it's so much more superior than their own right. It's just that it's so much more connected and superior than everybody else's left that it makes it seem like they're a fucking world killer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. I don't really think about it at all, actually. A lot of people think about it
I
too
think about it
much.
too much.
Think about it too much. I don't really think about a lot of the stuff that other people think about.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's why we're talking about this stuff. Okay, so what's changed in the last 6 months? Talked a little bit about that. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your thoughts on Arizona arm wrestling in a whole, from maybe a year ago to what it looks like now.
Ooh. We've gotten a ton of new people over the last year. A lot of it has to do with new people recruiting new people. Overall, I think we're going in a positive direction. Um, all the complaints are from the people hmm, who are just been involved for a while, and it's like, oh, the wall has been white for so long, and why paint it black? It's
Yeah.
just like it's a stupid thing to complain about.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're complaining about the music, but you don't want to, you can't even get in the club, sort of thing. you know,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I just think they're just like a get off my lawn sort of people, and it's just like, oh, you guys just need to shut up,
Or compete.
yeah, or compete, or not. I mean, I don't care either way.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Eric wants a match with Wayne, and Wayne says no. Okay, great, drop it. You're above Wayne according to the rules. Wayne will accept a match when when he wants to accept a match. It's like,
Yeah.
Eric is 6 years old. Like, go fishing, buddy. Like, who cares?
Well, but not only that, but on the same stint, as far as the like what Lewis was talking about, the rankings, there's nobody who's looking at our rankings right now other than us. If
Yeah.
you're looking up to see where Eric Wolf's name is, your name is probably Eric Wolf. If you're looking to find out where John Belak's name is, your name is probably John Belak. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? If you want to arm wrestle somebody, you know who you want to arm wrestle based on strength, not based on what a list tells you. You know who you want to beat. You know who you want to challenge yourself against. You know who has your number. Who you fucking are just chomping at the bit to get to. So a list is only there for certain reasons, and it took me some time to realize that. But realistically, as long as the ball's moving, that's all I care about. But
Yeah. It's like, I don't know if this is a stupid analogy, but it's like the list is like our potluck. It's like,
yeah,
hey, we're having a potluck. Hey, just bring something. And people are like, I don't want a potluck. It's like, well, don't eat then. And it's like, no, but I want to complain about the potluck.
I want to be involved
I'm
though.
Yeah, and there's like the vegan. It's like, oh, but there's nothing vegan. It's like, well, you say you don't want to eat anyway. It's like some stupid like
Is
that.
that the left-handed guy, the vegan?
I don't know.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to, well, a little bit still on that note. Not only just the new guys, but do you feel like I feel like there's been more involvement too? Bishop Arm Wrestling, he's got his own YouTube channel. Aaron's
Mhm.
got a TikTok channel that's apparently doing great things. Your channel is over 1,000 subscribers and is pretty much just arm wrestling now. If someone
Pretty much, yeah.
doesn't want to follow arm wrestling, they're probably not going to subscribe to you. So
At
realistically,
this point, probably not.
you know what I mean? So that's awesome. I've done my best. There's tournaments happening, and we're trying to get as many people as involved in that, and I do want to go a little bit into that, but, you know, but,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
well, like the question I had was, what else would you want from Arizona other than what you're getting from it right now? So other than like competing and the every 2 weeks we're having a practice with a few practice matches, what else, whether it's a 2-year goal, a 5-year goal, whatever it is for Arizona, not for you specifically, but what do you see? What do you want? What do you feel is coming, for Arizona.
Hmm.
Because I know, like you just said, it's probably not something you think of very often.
Yeah, that's a hard question. I don't know, man. I just think about myself for the most part.
Don't be so.
I what I would probably like is for the newer people to kind of start engaging themselves a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Maybe other people challenging other people. Big ups to Aaron for doing stuff on TikTok. I don't go on TikTok. I don't do that TikTok stuff, but
Me neither.
other people do. That's how people. It's like that ET guy that from California that does the
Yeah.
supplement stores, arm wrestling. Dude is huge. He's huge,
Arm wrestling
and
plan.
yeah, I'm sure if Joseph did something like that, he'd be great. I think
And
a
just
lot
for
of
everybody that knows, I mean, me and Ev have said it multiple times, but we're not anything special. We just wanted to do this, so we
we're
did it.
just two we're just two dumbasses on YouTube. Like you can do the
Exactly.
same thing.
Exactly. So go be a dumbass on YouTube. If
Yeah.
you want to, then do it. It doesn't matter how many people are gonna. I thought about this. There was at one time I thought I was gonna be a really good Call of Duty player, and I was like, should I stream? Like I was gonna do, instead of like a real competitive, like he's so good, more of like a funny, like kind of fucking around type
Yeah.
channel type shit. But everything that shot it down immediately was, oh, and who's gonna watch me? Like, oh, but I only probably get like 250 subscribers.
Hmm.
And the reason why those things stopped me was because I didn't love it. I wasn't doing it because of the right reasons. I know I'm doing this for the right reasons, because I don't care about how many views I get. I don't care about how many subscribers. I don't even have 100 subscribers, but I'm still pumping out videos like weekly, every day. You know what I mean? And it's
You
all
got
pretty
you got a
much.
lot of subscribers. You went from like 60 to almost 100.
I went from 59 to, I think I have like 90 now, something like that. And that
91.
59 is when I picked back up at about Arizona State. So, I mean, yeah, it's moving. Don't get me wrong, but that's not why I do it. I do it more for the data and the information and the knowledge in which the 6 people who are watching this and the 100 people who do watch it are probably all in Arizona. They're probably mainly people who we arm wrestle with, people who we are looking for those pieces and bits of information, so.
Those are the only people we care about anyway.
Well, and realistically, if someone is watching me from across the world and I'm sitting here talking about Arizona arm wrestling, I don't doubt that you don't care or don't want to talk about it. If I'm talking about training of arm wrestling or something universal, then absolutely. But realistically, arm wrestling in itself is growing to where you're just learning about channels that do that, or learning, Pulseo TV. Just learned about them. It's a Latin American arm wrestling channel.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
Super dope. You know what I mean? Didn't know anything about them prior. And it's just what you want from that channel. I think what's going to be fun is the more competition, the more practices that we get, the more things filmed that we do, the more people will start to that we don't know. People will start to, oh, who's that guy, or I see that guy a lot, and maybe may take a year or something like that. But I love that. I'm for that.
Yeah,
So.
one thing I would like to do is, so Samantha, Scott's sister,
Yeah,
used their really nice camera for the practice. I mean, that footage was unbelievable. So
absolutely.
I'm gonna start. I have a pretty nice camera myself. I'm gonna start recording some of the practices like that. And so from that, I mean, I got some nice stills, and from the photos and stuff. I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, I think just increasing the quality of production and stuff like that is gonna be great.
Yeah, and why don't you tell me a little bit about how great my editing was? Let me hear it.
Oh, you're the greatest in the planet.
Dude, I had such a good time doing that. And there's the difference of someone who just wants to put it out first, just wants to get the information or the data out there, the
Mhm.
footage out there for people to see. But then in my sense, I kind of want to make it fun. I want to make it different. I want to make it unique.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jake, if you're still in the chat. 100% thought as I was making it, maybe I'm going a little overboard on the seizure aspect as far as how many effects I was using. But definitely just kind of having fun and just changing things up. I wanted it to look fun. I wanted it to look like that was an atmosphere in which you wanted to be in. And if you weren't, then you felt like you missed out. Like you felt like,
Absolutely,
damn,
yeah.
that was awesome. You know what I mean? Like family, looked like everyone was chit chatting. There was fucking rivalry, controversy. There was heat. There was matches. There was, I mean, what more could you want from arm wrestling when you look at that Liberty Performance practice? So
Yeah, we got a good reception from them, and everybody was respectful. So
yes,
um,
yes.
we can continue to do that, hopefully.
Just maybe next time don't bring the beers. So
I think next time just drink your drink and not leave them in the gym. People are like, have drinking waters, have drink Gatorades and stuff. It's like just take it with you. I mean, the cleaning part at the end. I mean, that was fine and stuff because it didn't have to be perfect because they have their own little cleaning company that comes. But
yeah.
I don't know. But it wasn't bad. I thought it was gonna be way worse.
Okay, here we go. I'm catching you off guard.
Mm,
You ready?
I'm ready.
You have a minute and a half to answer as many of these questions as fast as humanly possible. They are one answer questions. I don't need an explanation. Okay.
All right.
It is a best or favorite. Okay. So you can choose whatever you'd like to, whether it's your best or your favorite. But it's real easy. We're going to fly through them. Okay. And
Okay.
I have only so many here. Maybe you get through all of them in a minute and a half. Who knows?
Maybe.
Okay. Timer is on.
Okay.
Favorite color.
Red.
Favorite car.
None. I don't.
Favorite,
I don't like
favorite
cars.
movie.
Favorite movie. I like Watchmen. Watchmen's good.
The Watchmen. That's a good movie. Favorite dinner.
Dinner. I don't know. Steak.
Steak. Favorite breakfast.
Eggs. Benedict.
Okay. Favorite pizza. Pizza.
Favorite kind of pizza? Extra cheese and extra cheese and pepperoni.
Extra cheese and pepperoni. What's the best pizza? What place? Where from?
There's this food truck called Pizza Sloth. Probably that one.
Pizza Sloth for everyone in the chat. You got to check it out. Best sandwich.
Best sandwich. From a place or just the type of sandwich? I don't know. Probably a Philly cheesesteak sandwich.
Ooh, that's a good one. Favorite people to pull in Arizona. Favorite person. Favorite one person.
Ooh, favorite one person.
For practice.
That's a hard one.
Ooh, you're taking too much time.
I'm going to skip that one.
Who's the best arm wrestler in Arizona?
I'd say Joseph.
Who's the best arm wrestler in the world?
Probably Levon.
Favorite arm wrestlers or favorite arm wrestler? Oh, that's it. Good job, bro.
Joseph, my favorite arm wrestler.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You got pretty far, bro. Good job.
I just wish he would return my text, that little bitch.
Shout out to Bicep Boy in the chat.
Oh, you have a day off today.
You trying to train with him?
He's going to Aaron's practice tonight, but I was like, hey, if you want to come train.
Nice.
Man, favorite guy I like pulling. Oh, everyone's different.
I didn't know which one would hang you up, but then after I asked it, I was like, oh, that is kind of a hard question. The favorite one. It was supposed to be favorite arm wrestlers in Arizona, but then after I thought about it, I was like, he could have just be naming shit, So
the thing is, like, more people annoy me than I like. It's like people just like hit too much or hit too fast, or they're too the hitty. I hate that.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, let's practice. Like, one person I don't like pulling at all is my brother. Absolutely hate it.
That's hilarious.
because he's so focused on having an advantage in the grip, in the setup, and stuff like that, and he's not focusing on getting better.
Especially for someone like you, because he feels like he probably needs it because he knows that you're stronger.
Yeah, I think that's probably. And I'm just like this. Like, let's grip, and then from there, I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
So people who do that really annoy me. People who, when, like, I'm big on communication, so I'm like, let's go slow, and they don't go slow, or they go for the pins. Like, I don't like pulling Brugger all that much because he's so focused on pinning, and I really get really sore from him, especially in the wrist area because there's a lot of hand.
How he pulls, right?
How he pulls and a lot of hand and stuff. And he's not too good of a recipient of communication.
Strong human, but
Strong, yeah. And like Scott West is a good person to pull because he's a good communicator. Just stuff like that just makes me angry, you know? And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want to do this, and or if you want to do that, like, hey, let's talk to each other. Let's try to get better.
If you had to critique me as a practice puller, what would you tell me to get better at?
Better at I think your foundational strength needs a lot of work. I think
Right?
um hmm, I would say so, yeah. I mean, if you increase your overall strength, I mean that can only do you good,
Absolutely.
right?
The way I look at it is all the people who I know who are really good in the straps aren't really good in the straps because they found some crazy secret like a Chance Shaw or something like
Hmm.
that. They're just dead strong humans. So if that's the secret, then just get really strong, you know?
You know what's funny? My brother messaged me, and you know how we were talking about the cheats in the strap,
Yeah.
which is it's actually a joke. Like I don't think a lot of people understood it this way, but when I'm like doing this,
Yeah.
right, and I was putting a strap to, it's actually a joke because that really doesn't do anything. You
Well,
know,
it doesn't necessarily gain. You're talking about when you and me were talking about you pushing the strap on Alex McManus.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
So though
It's
those
more of
like
a mind fuck than anything else.
yeah, yeah. So it's basically you. It's like more of a psychological thing because when you feel like you have an advantage, you have an advantage.
Yeah.
So, and you can do a lot more of those cheats when you don't have the buckle. So I had to buckle both of those sides, and um, I want everyone to try this where like they do this, and then you'll see that there's nothing to it.
Right.
The cheat is to be a lot stronger than the other person.
100%. 100%. That is the goal. The questions we didn't get through, and we'll run through them. There's no time. But
Yeah.
some of your favorite exercises.
Um, I like deadlifts with straps. I like with figure eight straps. I like pull ups a lot. I like them with weight. I'll add 245s and do pull ups that way.
Beast.
Um, I like we
How are
have
you doing your
this
pull ups?
just like this full range of motion, like
Okay.
kind of 3/4 maybe.
But not
No, none of that garbage. Not gonna do that. It actually hurts me doing that. Like it hurts my elbows.
really.
Yeah. Um, hmm. Let's see. I like ghost arm wrestling where I just have a weight. Where I just have a weight and I'm just going like this. You know that
Okay.
stupid thing that I'm like, okay, I always start with this and I do that,
Yeah.
and it just like reinforces how the motion and everything like that. So I like the wrist stuff, especially like the Giannis wrist curls with the bar on the end, kind of like
Oh
this.
yeah. Yep.
I
Yep.
like that a lot. Some of the exercises I don't like is I don't like the multi spinner. I haven't used that for probably about a year. I made one and I'm like, I just don't.
You're
I
not a
just
big hand puller though.
I'm not well, no, I can't be a super hand puller if I don't have a super big hand.
Hands. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna dedicate a lot of time to something that I don't have access to.
It makes sense to me, man. Trust me. So I guess a little bit correlated to that question would be gym or table time.
Table time always.
All right.
It, if I didn't like gym, I would just do table time and no gym at all.
Hook or top roll.
Um, I like hook on the right, top row left,
Okay. And then straps or no straps.
straps,
Set grip or ref grip.
ref grip.
All right.
And the reason I like straps is because it saves those little tendons and stuff in your fingers and your wrist, and you can pull you can pull a lot more often
Are you
if you're always
are
in the straps.
are you kind of like agreeance with Devin Larrett as far as his view on the straps? How it always practicing the straps is going that way anyways. Might just get really good at it. He'd prefer it. All that kind of stuff.
I'd
Basically,
say.
his outlook.
Well, I like pulling in straps just because I can pull more often. So
Yeah.
my wrists and my fingers get fatigued a lot. So if I'm always in the straps, then I don't have to deal with that.
But you don't feel like you're losing out, missing out on any training by not by by pulling outside the straps every so often as
Well,
far as
I do pull outside the straps, but it's like maybe 70-30.
true.
With new people, like new people in the gym, I'm pulling them without the straps.
That makes sense. Okay, so then really all left I have for you is like what your timeline looks like. If you could give the people a little bit of like what's your agenda, what you have planned. We were talking a little about New Mexico in August, mid-August, maybe doing
Oh,
that.
okay. Yeah, I have some news
We're
on that one.
we were talking about Tim and Eric a little bit earlier, but you'd already
Yeah.
have Jesse in the works. You know,
Oh, Jesse's a speed bump.
that's what I mean. As far as like all of those, kind of give us a view of how you see all those playing out.
Yeah, so I start my new job Monday, and they have this stupid rule where you don't get any PTO or time off or whatever until 60 days after, which is pretty stupid. Hopefully they're not watching this. So the New Mexico thing, I don't know if that will work out because I don't know if I'll get the day off. I know
Right.
it's on a Saturday, so maybe Friday after work. I don't know. Um,
Play that
I'll
one
have
by.
to I'll have to coordinate that. I don't even know if it'll be worth it though, because there's Mexicali too, and that's a 4-hour drive. That might be more worth my time. I don't know.
When is that?
Mexicali, I think that's a week after the New Mexico one.
Okay.
So,
And I'm guessing Wayne and Miguel will be going down to that one, who are teammates of yours.
um, I don't know. I have to ask him. I don't think Miguel is doing it. I don't know. Man. Um, and then the
So
Tim,
tournaments are still kind of thrown up in the air.
yeah, the only one I'm doing 100% is Washington.
Gotcha.
And anything in between is just like whatever, just for
If it
funsies.
works.
Yeah, if it works, I'll do it. If it doesn't work, whatever. And it's not even about the money or anything like that. It's about if it'll work, convenience wise, or like I don't want to
Absolutely.
have to. If I'm 240, I don't want to have to lose 8 pounds, and I don't want to do this and stuff. It's not worth it for me. Like I want to go, I want to peak for Washington, and I want to lose weight, and then boom, make weight for that, and then it'll be good.
Yeah.
The whole
Are you
Tim,
pulling pros in Washington?
yeah, that'll be my first pro, and I know that one's going to be a very difficult pro.
It is.
Uh, that's why I'm like, okay, I'm going to be doing 232, and because I don't want to be losing weight and then getting smashed anyway.
Oh man,
Because those
that's the love to you, sir.
the lower in weight you get, the harder it is. Because you're
Dude, I
dealing,
felt I did not feel strong at Arizona State. I looked great. I looked like I was shredded to the bone. I did not feel as strong as I should
yeah.
have.
It's like the better you look, the worse you do, and it's like the more disgusting you look, the better. It's like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Fuck this arm wrestling thing, huh?
Yeah. So the Tim thing was we were at practice that a couple days ago, and I don't know, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said something like, "Oh, I said, hey Tim, if I pin you left, I won't have to pay entry fee to your Washington tournament." Like trying to make a deal with him. He said, "If you ever beat me left, you never have to pay an entry fee ever to any of my tournaments." So I was like, "Oh fuck it, let's have a match." I don't want to
Even
have
if I
it.
lose, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like whatever, right? Um, and so I was like, okay, yeah, let's do a match. I don't want to have it for money or whatever because I'm gonna smash probably. Um, and then Eric, I know Tim is better than Eric left hand from what I know. And then now I have a match with Eric in 3 months because I know Eric's left is not as good as his right. And I know I was talking with you about having a match left with Leo, so we'll have to think of that down the line. But if
Yeah.
I beat Eric left, is Leo better than
No,
Eric?
if you beat Eric and or Tim left-handed, that's why I tried to tell you your timeline should change or your trajectory
Yeah.
should change. Because then the people who you have to beat are not people around your weight. They're people for overall number one in the state. And
Well, I don't
overall
know. I
number
don't know
one
if
left.
I don't know how far Tim is away from Wayne. I mean, not Wayne. How far Tim is away from Eric left hand.
I
They
think
might be.
Dustin is
They
the
might
number one
be
left hand in the state.
Dustin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big man, though.
It is. But if you can beat Eric, then you shouldn't be afraid of what Dustin can do left-handed.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to be crushing, especially if you can beat Eric. If you go through a war with an Eric or a Tim, different question. I wouldn't even be looking at Dustin as of right now. But if you beat them, like convincingly, so similar to how you did Alex, like how would you say your struggle level was with Alex from 1 to 5? 5 being the hardest.
Probably 3.5.
Okay. So yeah, if you do the same to Eric or Tim, then yeah, dude, like you shouldn't be looking at
Actually,
a. You should
actually,
be
no,
looking at
it's not a 3.5. The struggle with Alex in that match was,
outside the straps.
I don't even know. It was almost like,
No, because you got a pin outside the straps. What am I talking about?
yeah, he never really got me past center, except that one time he went like this and then we slipped. So I don't know if there was any way he could have won. I thought he was going to hook me, but then he never hooked in tournaments. So I don't know. I just think that he wasn't mentally ready. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I think he got
Interesting.
smashed.
I think you're too strong.
Yeah. I
So
keep
Tim,
It's funny,
Tim and Eric.
as a memento, I keep the cash right here, right in front of me on the
Just to
computer.
remind your badass self. So Tim and Eric are definitely on the list
Boom.
left-handed as far as the next 3 months, and when it happens, it happens. Looks like Eric has a date. As far as if Tim happens, then whatever. But are you looking to get Tim under a name under your belt after Eric, or is that just kind of like one or the other?
The Tim thing was just a whatever thing. The Eric, we'll see how that pans out in 3 months,
Cool.
and then whatever. The man's
Okay.
60 years old, so he can't be that good.
Okay, and what about Jesse? We need to get this thing over and done with, bro. Let's
Jesse,
stop. Let's stop pussyfooting. Let's stop bullshitting with this.
we'll figure it out. Maybe
Give
Saturday
the people what they want to see.
I'll feel extra froggy, and I'll just say, "Hey, you want to just do one round for $500?" Maybe I'll say something stupid like that. I don't know. I say stupid shit all the time.
No stupid shit. We want to see you two go at it, best of 5, right-handed, for $500, and I want to record it and everything. I want it to be official. I want it to be real. But I'm not even in the match. So what am I talking about?
You're the video guy.
I'm the video guy. I just want to see it happen. And then what's to expect from June 25th? We're gonna have pay-per-view. We're gonna have watch party, some pizza, some refreshments.
Yeah. So how this is gonna work is that it's gonna be $5 for admission fee. That'll cover. So it covers the pay-per-view. It covers the pizza. It covers the refreshments and stuff. And so I'll basically pile up the money. I'll pay for all the refreshments and then the pizza and stuff, and the rest goes to the gym for allowing us to have the event there. So
Cool.
so that'll be that. Just something simple like that. It's not going to be like $15, $20. This $5 is reasonable for everybody.
Similar turnout to the one we just had, I would guess, June 18th.
Maybe 30, 40 people. John, just a practice, yeah. And then John Brzezinski, of course, will be there. And don't
Dustin
worry,
will be there. Eric will be there.
Oh, Dustin too.
Dustin, Eric, and John are apparently all going. As far as I'm concerned, I would guess that everybody that was there on the 18th will be there. Trying for 4 or 5 tables like normal, like usual. If anybody has questions, please feel free to reach out to me or Ed as far as those kind of things. But just want to keep reiterating as far as the next thing that's always happening. So June 25th will be the next practice we're having. It will be the watch party for the Levon and Devin. And then July 2nd, following that, we'll be at Aaron's house in Phoenix. And we have Juan Patricio Neri taking on Ben Freeman. I just made the poster for that. I need to send it to those 2 gentlemen.
Nice.
We also have Joseph Moranto versus Brugger, right-handed. I don't know if they're doing both right and left-handed. I would love for them to do both right and left-handed because I think like one is one and the other is the other. And I don't know if there's any other matches for that day. Other than that, it's a practice. Should be good times. And then July 17th, following that, it's going to be the pool party practice at Ed's house. We've talked a little bit about that, but obviously when it gets closer to, we'll promote the shit out of that, talk more about that. July 8th, I believe, Kirby's having a practice, you said?
Yeah, July 8th at 6 p.m. He's for his birthday. He's hosting a party, so I'll be on the west side of town. And then hopefully we will try to get Ovi and Joseph to do that match that day.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not far off from Michael versus Joe. That's a week after.
Yeah, I personally don't see why Joseph should go against Brugger, but
Well, if
that's
he has
just
the
me.
opportunity to pull Ovi, then absolutely. But Brugger and Joseph have gone back and forth time and time again. There's obviously more at stake when it comes to Joseph and Ovi, and more people want to see it. But I mean, I think they're 1-1 right now, Joseph and Brugger.
Yeah, I think Ovi lives around there, right?
No, around where?
Around where Kirby lives,
Oh, I don't
kind of the
know. I have no
Miguel
idea.
Wayne area.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I think Ovi will be at Kirby's. Don't get me wrong. It's just a matter of, is like Ovi gonna show up and be like, no, 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 no. I'm not just showing up to have a match.
Ovi's
We
the type of
practice
guy.
people.
Ovi's the type of guy because like when I tried to coordinate a match between him and Joseph before, he's like, "Here's my address. Come any Saturday, and we'll slow pull and we'll just see where you're at." That's the type of guy he is. He's not like, I'm just gonna have a match with you. Like he's not like that.
Well, if that's the case, then I would hate to see Brugger and Joseph pull, because that can happen at any time. It doesn't sound like Ovi is as easy as accessible. So if this is the opportunity you have, Brugger, if you're listening to this, Joseph, if you're listening to this, sorry, Brugger, but do what you got to
Yeah,
do. It is what
it
it
would.
is.
I think Joseph would have to take maybe a day off of work or something like that for that. But it would be nice just for him to just see where he's at with him instead of like having a match. They might be too far off. We don't know.
Joseph and Ovi.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't think Joseph's too far off from many people in Arizona, like you said.
Well, there's levels to this stuff. I mean,
There is.
Ovi was an international competitor. He has literally a bucket full of medals.
That's fucking awesome.
I mean, Miguel said it took him 5 years to pin Ovi. 5 years.
It's pretty nuts. That's how long it's gonna take me to
It's just
fucking pin
amazing,
his
isn't it?
ass.
What else do you want to talk about?
I got nothing, man. My wrist it feels good. I'm gonna go probably do some. I don't know. I'm gonna go to the gym right now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't like doing bench press, like what we were talking about earlier. But as far as overall foundational strength, I do need it. I need it
Do you
to
have
be.
access to a bar that's like this? It's like a neutral grip bar.
Yeah.
That's what I really like. It feels much better for me.
For pressing.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I ideally use that one.
Yeah. And to me, it's just a matter of where specifically I need help at and strength at is the straps. I feel very, very comfortable with the majority of people my level or even a little step above me outside the straps, but I need to feel that same confidence inside the straps. And the best way I can explain it is I feel 95% outside the straps, and I don't even feel 50% inside the straps. So like I've tried to explain to everybody, it's clearly something I'm not doing right. Either that or I'm just weak foundationally. So
Maybe you're just not strong enough.
that's what I'm saying. It's just a matter of I know I'm strong enough in certain areas to compete. Like my hand is strong enough, my forearm is strong enough, but that only gets you so far when you're in the straps. You have to have a bigger, stronger arm. You have to have
Just get stronger.
solid shoulders, a solid lat connection, and those are all things that I've just started to pick up within the last year. So,
What do you think? What do you think of Nathan versus Aaron?
I don't think about it.
I don't think that's going to be an easy payday for Nathan.
If I'm honest with you, I don't like it. I don't like it.
It doesn't make sense. What do you think
I talked to Sid
motivated Aaron to?
I talked to Sid a little bit about it last night, and there's two different types of people. There's the people who look at losses as a good thing. Sid is one of them. You look at losses as I learned more than I would have if I won. It motivates me. I'm going to come back. I'm going to be stronger. All of those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
I would love it if that was the case in which was happening with Aaron.
So what's the case?
I don't feel that that's the case. I feel like it's a small bit of delusion. And I also feel like it's a small bit of whether it's trolling or whatever it is. But if you need to do those kind of things in order to keep yourself pushing and to get yourself better, who am I to
More
say to
power
stop?
too.
Who am I to say to stop you? But I don't think that in 2 months you're going to make the gains in which you're going to need to have anything for Nathan, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think you had anything for me, Aaron, and Nathan just dislocated my wrist outside the straps. So there's no disrespect. Like we just said about Obi, there's levels to this.
Mhm.
And I think me and Ed are kind of at the point where we'd like to see you get a win, brother. We'd like to see you get a match against someone close to your level, someone who will. And I think that was Josue, honestly. I think that went great.
Yeah, Josue doesn't even arm wrestle, man.
Yeah, dude. I think that went great. I think you learned more about yourself in the last week than anything else. However you want to challenge Nathan, whatever it may be. I think realistically, I think you were more surprised than all of us. You know what I mean?
Mhm. The
So
more the more you lose, the less people take you seriously. You start looking like a clown. I mean, you need to.
and let me say this too, with what you just said. I want you to, Aaron, think about the people who you've called out since you've started this whole thing. Ed,
Ooh, you
Nathan will
got
be good for me, and I learned to not practice so much for competition. But that's not what we're talking about. That's not. You don't go from lower level Josue
to an even better
and
competitor.
skip me to then go up to Nathan, and your excuse is, oh, I just practiced too much the week before.
Dude, no, that's not
That's
how it
not.
works.
That's the delusion part that we're talking about. Okay.
Clayton can't probably beat Nathan, and I don't even know if you can beat Clayton. And there's just
Brugger. Start
yeah,
with
you
Brugger.
can't beat Brugger.
You were talking shit with
Can't
Brugger
beat
about having a
Nathan.
match with Brugger. I mean, what it comes down to is I don't want you to call out people like Martin and Ed and me and Nathan, and everybody knows what the outcome is because it's just a waste of time. That's all it is.
Even if it's for money, I mean, it's just stupid. Like, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna keep losing, and you're just gonna be like, "Oh, fuck this arm wrestling thing." It's
100%
like
what's going to happen.
it's for your own. It's for your own benefit. See, me and Nathan feel good. He's excited about it. Hey, man, if you want to do it, do it. I mean, if you feel like giving away $200, that's your money. But hey, if you want to challenge me for money, hey, let me know. I'm
That was the
ready.
first thing I thought of when Nathan hit me up. I was like, well, damn, I thought I was supposed to get my $100. What happened to that?
Hey, as long I think I started this whole like money thing, so now people want to do money, and I love it. I'll do it at my house. Don't worry about it. Oh, dude, we're not worrying about anything. We're just talking
I'll
about
throw
it.
it at my house. I don't care what it is. I'm worried about you, player.
Hey, I just want to record it.
I just want to see you get better. I want to see people who are that involved in arm wrestling do better.
Hmm.
That's all.
Yeah, we don't dislike anybody. Like I don't think there's no dislike for anybody. I think when I see someone like Aaron, Edo calls out Eric and calls me delusional. I have pins on Eric's left hand. I have many times actually. So I wouldn't put $500 on the line if I wasn't somewhat confident. Just because I don't have an ego and stuff like that, you don't really know how good I am. So because your level is far too low to understand that stuff. Um, but we need people like Aaron. We need people that are gun ho about this to keep being involved in arm wrestling. Is my point.
100%. And that's why I say I want him to get a glimpse of like, oh yes, fuck yes.
Yeah,
You know,
Aaron, we love you. You're that
all
you're
love.
that you're that kid in the back who says jokes and they're not funny, but he's kind of special ed. But
Laughs
it's
at
like
his
we
own
kind of
jokes.
laugh anyway. Hey, we need we need you.
Anybody that's pushing the sport, I want to see. I want to see you do well. I just
I want
once
to see
again,
some positive things from this fella.
yeah, I just want to see positivity. That's all. And if you want to match with Nathan, then I want you to train as hard as you can to push yourself to get to that level. I just don't think it's going to make a difference. And I
I'll
think
tell
it's
you, I'll tell you though, you're not going to beat Nathan top rolling him, no matter how big your hand is, because his hand is bigger, thicker,
way
and
bigger,
stronger.
way
You're
bigger.
going to have to learn how to hook, how to get in there, shoulder forward, and if you can do that, then that's how you win.
You also better
You're
get
gonna
into the straps.
you're gonna have to gain weight. You're gonna have to gain like 25 pounds probably if you want to
This
win.
money would have been John's, but he's got weak wrists. I do.
Eh, He's
I
he's
do.
got
I'm
weak wrists.
dislocated John right now, as you guys can see in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Ben
all right,
Corn,
man.
ruthless. You got to be ruthless, man. That's how I think how to get better is to look at yourself objectively, you know.
Well,
And if
be
somebody
honest.
else doesn't want to do it, I'll do it for them.
Well, let's be clear. You and me are honest with each other.
It's about accountability.
And we hold
We
each
all
other
we all want to
accountable.
get better.
You know what I mean? I just asked you, what do you think I could do better? And you're like, hey, get fucking stronger, weak boy.
Yeah, you're
You know
just
what I mean?
you're just weak. I mean, you're
So-
from a basketball background. You're like we're two different people. It's like
Exactly.
it is what it is.
That's why I'm working out with people like Sid.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, dude, it's been fun. I don't
been
know.
real.
I don't know if we'll train, but I'll see you Saturday. Anything else you want to get out the way before we jump off?
If anyone wants to help with the Saturday thing, as far as refreshments or maybe some baked goods or something like that, feel free. We need 2 more tables, so if you can come before 12 and set up the table, that'd be cool. Because then again, I don't know how many people are going to come. Maybe 50 people come, but you never know. So I would like.
Let me say this: if you're an arm wrestler and you're going to a practice and you don't bring your table, you're an asshole.
You are an asshole. Yeah. If you have a table,
Why do
and
you have a table if you're not going to bring it to the practice in which you know 50 people are going to be there?
Yeah, at least
I don't
have
get
it in your car. Like I told Juan, I was like,
If
hey,
I had
can
an
you bring?
arm wrestling, if I had a mobile arm wrestling table, that bitch would go with me to the restaurant when I eat. I'd be setting it up at the gym outside. It'd be everywhere with me.
Yeah, just have it in the car, just as a in case we need it.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is, Aaron has shared the Liberty Saturday event. We got a retweet. What is it called? The restory thing from Core Sports. Core Sports has it on their story that about the Liberty event. Artem shared it on his story too. So it's like, it's going to be pretty big. If someone can bring some Mountain Dews, that'd be sick. Yeah, and let me know. Let me know if you want to be part of the helping crew, and I'll let you know what to do.
Absolutely. It has been real, my friend.
All right, we're almost at an hour and a half, like usual.
Do we need to take up 2.5 minutes?
Ooh, what else do you want to talk about?
I was going to say.
We've talked crap about Aaron, but that's a given.
Those are my homies.
Dude, they're not. All right, we can spend 2 minutes.
He's saying they're ruthless? Is that what he's talking about?
So Aaron, those are my homies. He's talking about the Core Sports guy.
Oh.
and Artem. Artem's cool with everybody.
Those are not your homies, Aaron.
As long as you're useful to people, everybody's your homie. That's how life works.
I got a table and I got some Mountain Dew. My man, Rad Rob.
Rad Rob.
Always count on Rad Rob.
And Rad Rob might join the Liberty Gym as well, so he's ready to make some gains.
Who do we want to see Rad Rob up against next?
Ooh, that's a good one. How do you feel about Robert against Clayton? Have we seen that before?
I think Robert wins. But
Clayton he's doing work right now.
Why are you so high up on this Clayton guy? What did this Clayton guy do to you?
What did Clayton?
Did he slip you some dollars before this live?
I like Clayton, all right. So I want to give him some matches.
Gains, nice. Or I don't know what that is.
Gains Inc.
Gains Inc. Oh, yeah. I don't. Robert
wants Edo. Hey, I told Robert we can have a match at any point.
That and that's, who knows if that's coming from Aaron's mouth or from Robert's mouth.
It's close. His right is getting good and injured, and haven't pulled him in a hot minute. That's right.
Styles make matches for that Rad Rob guy. Any top roller is going to be a fun match. Even me. I mean, me and him have gone back and forth. So,
I think Robert's talking about Clayton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that last comment, you mean?
Yeah, Clayton, he has a good hand, very strong hand.
Absolutely.
My left is not on your LVL, but it's good though. Alrighty, buddy. Oh wait, 10 seconds, 9
Throw
seconds,
out the double pythons for the last few seconds there.
5 seconds.
Oh my god, dude! Look at that! Look at that definition.
Getting thick.
Getting that thick boy form. But now I got to work on the. I got to get the 240 Ed looking.
Make sure you do some diddly lifts.
Actually,
Alrighty, buddy.
that is what who I'm coming to when I start to do deadlifts. Is I'm coming straight to you guys. So.
Oh, dude, that's a bitch and a half to teach someone how to deadlift.
Fucking don't even look forward to
Yeah,
it. So.
Bishop came to my gym. He's like, "Hey, Ed, can you show me how to deadlift?" I said, "No."
Yeah.
Well, I started showing him, and we worked up to, I don't know, 85 pounds, something small, and he said, "I think my limiting factor was my quads." I'm like, "I don't even think he used quads when he deadlift. I don't know why that's sore."
He said, "I don't even know why that's sore."
I don't know.
That'd be me though, dude. Trust me. I fucking hate.
All right, we'll leave with that. All right, buddy.